Well, now we enter the third part on this, talking about cockatrices, dragons, dinosaurs, and chickens. It wasn't supposed to go to here, but in editing, I got the end of my file corrupted, which, if you've watched all my videos, you've seen that happen a few times, and I decided, no, I'm going to redo it because there's a few things that are pretty important left right after. And of course, I always like to have a salutation, maybe give an indication of what this is connected to that's coming up and so on. Where we were, it is known that Pope Leo IV had the figure of a cock placed on the old St. Peter's Basilica, which we've connected to basilisks, or an old Constantinian basilica, and has served as religious icon reminder of Peter's denial to Christ since that time, where we talked about how the cock crows 3 times. With some churches still having roosters on the steeples today, alternative theories about origins of weathercocks on church steeples are that it was an emblem of the vigilance of the clergy calling the people to prayer, that it was derived from the Goths and only possibly a Christian symbol. It was something that came from before, and that it's an emblem of the sun. The Vatican Persian cock denoted a sacred and religious vessel acknowledged by the Vatican, the girt of the loins of Proverbs 3:31, the Hebrew zarzir, Arabic sarsar, which has to do with sorsar, which has to do with sorcery, Greek elector, which is actually divination using birds and their actions, French colloquially known as a Persian bird, or a Persian cock on the acknowledged rooster from the Hebrew Torah, the Christian Old Testament, the old scriptures of Job, Isaiah, and the apostles John, Luke, Matthew, and Mark. The Gospel of Jesus Christ may still be further viewed through a dictionary of the Bible, which tells us that Pindar, circa 522 to 543 AD, mentions the cock. Homer, way back in 800 to 750 BC, names a man Gever, which we talked about before, as the word for a cock in the ancient names, and Aristophanes in 446 BC to 386 BC calls it a Persian bird. In the Bayeux tapestry, which we had a look at here of the 1070s, originally of the Bayeux Cathedral, and now exhibited at Musée de Tapestry of Bayeux, in Bayeux, Normandy, there is a depiction of a man installing a rooster on the Westminster's Abbey. No, that's not what we looked at. The cornerstone is the stone set in the construction of masonry, foundations, and over time it became ceremonial stone, with the laying of the stone being generally important metaphysical and sacred architecture. The cornerstone. Fraser, 2006, page 106, says, in the Golden Bough tells us that in modern Greece, when the foundation of a new building is laid, it is the custom to kill a cock, ram, or a lamb to signify the eras that we just went through and let the blood flow on the foundation stone. In Islam, the understanding of the divine spiritual endowment of the rooster with Islam may be evidenced in the words of Muhammad of the Abrahamic religion, which Abraham will talk about on the next video, somewhat, is one of the 6 canonical hadith selections of Sunni Islam, stating that when you hear the crowing of cocks, ask for Allah's blessings, for they have seen an angel, which they crow at the rising of the sun. In Shintoism, many roosters are found in Shinto shrines, the rooster being associated with the sun goddess Amaterasu, which has been dissected to be Ama, Great Mother, and Terra being the earth, Great Mother of Earth, like Terra in the Bible. But that's another thing. Well, it's like Mediterranean, it's in there too. Terrain, Terra. In Taoism, Hanshi and the Spring Hanshi festival were when the fires were not used and then relit, like a phoenix, since fire, like the cock, like a yang symbol of the sun, was temporarily extinguished and then relit in a Tao religious aspect to have a rooster fight another rooster, was the same in substance as the fire renewal custom when the rooster in the cockfight takes place on an indispersible spring. Taoism, which is assessed it positively in the form, can be thought to have guaranteed its existence. Hanchi Festival, which eventually made to conclude to the Kim Ming Festival of the Pure Brightness Festival, which still includes the rooster in a cockfight. Zoroastrianism, claimed to be the oldest of the revealed world religions and founded by Prophet Zoroaster, or Zarathustra, opposed animal sacrifices but held the rooster as a symbol of light and association with the cock of good against evil, of yin and yang, if you will, because of its heralded actions. In Iran during the Kainan period, from about 2000 BC to about 700 BC, among domestic birds, the cock was the most sacred, and within that religion, the devout had a cock to guard him and ward off evil spirits. This continues on and on and on, and I'm not going to go through it all with you and show you things, but there's one more paragraph I'd like to read. In emblems, the cockerel was already a symbolic importance in Gaul by the time of the invasion of Julius Caesar, and was associated with the god Lugus, which is also associated with the sun, or Lu. Today, the Gallic rooster is an emblem of France. The rooster is also an emblem of Wallonia and the Turkish city of Denizli. Among Roman deities, Priapus was sometimes represented as a cock with his beak as a phallus and its wattles as testicles. The cock, or a man with rooster attributes, was similarly used as an erotic symbol. Priapus, it's where we get Priapism. The Cockburn clan in Scotland used the cock as their badge. Their canting coat of arms is Argent Three Cocks. And their motto is Accedit Cantu, in Latin, he rouses us with song. A fighting cockerel on a ball is a symbol of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. The cockerel wears a pair of spurs, which is reference to the club's nickname. And here's a picture of it here. And of course, if you know anything about roosters and cockfighting, they have those spurs, and people actually attach spurs onto those that are metal and so on. But additionally, the cockerel is an emblem of Turkish sports club Delsapor, which is founded in 1966. Also, the supporters of the club are called cockerels. Another football club uses a rooster as its symbol is the club Atlético Mineiro from Brazil. The supporters of the club and other Brazilian clubs often refer to Mineiro as Galo, which means rooster in Portuguese. The Crazy Rooster, a symbol of Club Antico and Mineiro in Australia. The Sydney Roosters, who play in the National Rugby League, have adopted cockerel as its emblem. The rooster's emblem is a cock with its comb fashioned to represent the Sydney Opera House. Let's take a look at that here real quick. Let's see. Sydney Roosters. Oh yeah, I can see it where one's kicking forward and the shell shape's going back. So, Jesus College and University of Cambridge features roosters as its coat of arms, which is a pun on the name of the college's founders, John Alcock, which actually named associated with this bird. The University of South Carolina features a gamecock or fighting cockerel as its mascot for athletic programs. The coat of arms of Kenya features a rooster holding an axe. The emblem of a Chianti Classico is a black rooster. Chianti is that wine with a little bit of fava beans. A black cockerel was believed in medieval times to be a symbol of witchcraft, along with a black cat. Of course, old women, we talked about witches before, they would have a cat, usually, as a companion somewhat, or a dog, but also they would raise roosters, and so, with the rooster used as a symbol of either virtue or vice until modern times. A cockatrice was said to have been born from an egg laid by a rooster as well as killed by a rooster's call, and that's how we got the full circle to what we've been looking at here. But something I mentioned in part 1 is Abraxas, and we'll be going on to there. after we finish this one. For these ancient symbols of a rooster, and you see he has this plumage that goes on to him, is much like the plumage that's on the phoenix, like the plumage that's on peacocks and the males that go on there. And you can see a definite difference between males and females and sexual dimorphism in their shape and look. But also this was taken along with dragons, and there's a reason for that, and Proto-Europeans. And as I said before, everywhere that Mary went, that lamb was sure to go. But you know, there was other things that went along with that too, like chickens and ideals and mythologies that led to religions that are still extant today. Let me know what you think down below. I'm sorry this went to a third part, but I thought I'd definitely put this in here. Now we're going to go on to Abraxas. Grab a cup of coffee. Peace.